Well, happy Friday, everybody in the prepared mind world of SHTF. Everything going just badass crazy. Welcome, it is 0 dark 30, blasting out of the bunker, heading into the darkness, looking for the light. What a week of stuff going on. I bet you've learned a few things. I know I have. And it's a rare week and an even rarer time, right, when you don't learn something new. I learn something new every day about what is happening and what I should be worried about and thinking about. Now, with respect to the world and what's going on, assassinations are going to become more prominent, more prevalent, more in our faces. Now, the other day, the Slovakian Prime Minister was shot. But he lived. He was shot multiple times, and he lived. He's still alive. And there's quite a European consternation. Well, the reason is because, well, the Slovakian Prime Minister Fico was not beloved of Washington, D.C. and the U.S. government. Nope, he was not beloved by the European Union. In fact, both those institutions, if you want to call them that, had it out for him. Do not like him because he is opposing, along with others like Viktor Orban, European Union domination, US-EU demands. Once again, we're seeing how this works, folks. Demands, right? FICO wasn't doing what he was being told he needed to do. What was being recommended? I guess he wasn't taking the bribe money. And folks, they have more money than you can believe. So bribing one of these guys that failed, that is very strange indeed. Well, I tell you what's been going on. So, the Prime Minister Fico lived, even though he got really shot up bad. Well, it turns out now someone else in Europe, or near Europe, this would be the Republic of Georgia. Not the state of Georgia in the United States of America, but Georgia. Anyways, I tell you, he is running afoul of the European Union and United States policy. You see, Georgia is trying to pass an anti-spy law. More specifically, if you're going to be representing an agent or representing a country as an agent in Georgia, you've got to register. The United States of America has something very, 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 very similar. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is this would negatively impact the European Union's ability to spy on, enter, work, and gather information. Now, Georgia is, by the way, a Russian Federation state. So it's quite interesting to me that the European Union, right, really thinks they're going to get in there and push their weight around. Well, they did. And a European commissioner told the Prime Minister of Georgia that, right, he better wake up. Now, is this a threat or just a recommendation, or could it be a politician using some current events to try and influence things by telling the Prime Minister of Georgia that the fate of Prime Minister Fico is yours, right? In other words, he said, hey, he got shot. Is that what you want to happen to you? Folks, that's a downright threat. Do as we say. Do as we say. We'll shoot your ass. When there are financial problems, monetary problems, when evil has run amok, this is what we start to see. Threats and assassinations. Right, that's how World War I got started. World War I started right after the Federal Reserve Act passed. World War I started right when they started the income tax in the United States of America. Can you imagine how much better we would all live if we didn't have to pay federal tax? Can you imagine how much, one, cheaper products would be because, well, no one would be paying any taxes. So our labor would have more value. Hey, maybe we wouldn't have to work 6 days a week. Maybe we'd only have to work 4. Or you could work 5 or 6 if you wanted to, well, produce more for yourself, save more for yourself. See what I'm saying? But no, income tax. And then bam, World War I. So there's a reason for the government to enforce the new tax. And then they needed a war, so they had an assassination attempt. Pow! They killed Archduke Francis Ferdinand. Who gives a crap what that guy was about? But they used it as the excuse, folks. They just need the excuse to sell everyone. Remember the Maine, sinking of the Lusitania. When they want war, they usually get it. When they want their way, they usually get it. So when you're threatened, you should listen. Now, I do want to back up a little bit because there's part of this topic that I think is very important. When I said that politicians, they can be offered a lot of money. They have enough money, they can bribe anybody. I mean, there are various reports about what Voldemort Zelensky has been gifted with. Well, number one, they've gifted him with the appearance of being a heterosexual by finding someone to claim to be his wife. We know he's just a fruitcake. Right, but he's been gifted with houses all over Europe. So maybe they offered money to Fico, Slovakian Prime Minister Fico, and he said no. Why would he say no? Can't they just throw more money at him and say, okay, 50 million isn't enough, we'll give you 100 million. No, we'll give you $500 million if you just turn Slovakia over to the European Union and the World Economic Forum and let them tell you what policies are. I think there's something going on, folks. Something called patriotism. And that is to say that when they're offered money, they turn it down. Right? Would you eat a delicious filet mignon steak? Of course you would. They're delicious. But would you eat one if you knew it was poisoned? There's your question. Probably not. Right? Probably not. It'd be like asking you want a bar of gold, and you're like, hell yeah, give me a bar of gold. But if you knew that bar of gold was mixed with radioactive plutonium, you'd be like, no, man, I ain't touching that. Yeah, it's gold, but it's going to kill me too. That's what happens when you play with and accept gifts from Washington, D.C., deep state government, or the European Union. Anything coming from those people, there's strings attached. There's a price to pay, right? You're going to be poisoned or killed by it. So I'm going to say it started. The threats of assassination, the attempts of assassination. I'm pretty sure that Prime Minister Abe of Japan, who was assassinated several years ago, well, he was kind of working with Trump. He was denying the whole Jim Jones juice thing. He was resisting the New World Order. I said the word. That's right, folks. Remember, the New World Order is a real thing because multiple presidents have talked about it. It's not a conspiracy theory. Multiple politicians have mentioned it and verified its existence. I mean, we're talking presidents of the United States, folks, not presidents of some conspiracy club. Right? Presidential candidates have mentioned it. It's real. Remember when they said the deep state? Oh, that's not real. Oh, well, how come I have politicians mentioning it? You know, they keep saying this isn't real and that isn't real. And it turns out that it's real. Very real. Like the World Economic Forum and their Great Reset. They tried saying the Great Reset, the term, the phrase was made up, a conspiracy theory. Except Klaus Schwab wrote several fucking books naming it the Great Conspiracy. Or I'm sorry, the Great Reset is part of the conspiracy to, right, take away our money, take away our governments, take away our food, take away our lives. It's real. And our leaders are either being bribed or threatened with execution, and some even being shot. Welcome. Welcome to Shit Hits the Fan. It's just going to get more interesting, so get yourself prepared.